there was an interesting thing here. It said, in terms of ergonomic workspace design, it said key considerations, posture and ergonomics. So for seating, consider ergonomic chairs, kneeling chairs, or balance balls that promote good posture and can help with focus. Sensory input. Many children benefit from tactile input. Fidget toys, weighted lap pads, and sensory mats can provide comfort and help maintain focus. Safety. Ensure all toys are childproof and made of non-toxic materials, as children may put them in their mouths. Focus and engagement. Fidget toys can help improve focus, emotional regulation, and engagement by providing small, repetitive movements. I've heard also about workplaces or outdoor classroom environments where kids go for hikes and they'll learn to count by counting items in nature that they find, and it connects with them. Again, that starts to look into different ways of teaching, different toolkits, which, any teacher can really implement depending on their creativity and their experience. Finally, kind of the ergonomic structure of the day. Generally, people talk about making sure that kids get up every 30 minutes. So asking an elementary school child to sit still and learn longer than 30 minutes isn't really going to achieve much. And I was talking with my mom, who she still remembers her kindergarten classes so fondly. And this is in, 1950s Mexico, small town Mexico. And she said her favorite time was when they got up. You'd have kind of like circle time, and you'd have a learning time where you talk about what day it was of the week and what the weather was outside, et cetera. But the best time was when they went to the centers. And I said, yeah, I think that's probably still the favorite of kids these days. So, from the 50s to the 2020s now, we are still working largely with the ideas of centers and moving from station to station, doing different activities. And it's that movement in between that helps to transition from one thing to another. And you get to look forward to the next change. I'm going to have to look through the sequence of elementary school to middle school to high school to understand the progression of how ergonomics can hit each major section of school. And I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned on that topic as I look through education. I'm very interested always in education, mainly because we're always learning throughout our life. That's where we learn to learn. As we look to what the future of work is going to look like, what the future of the world's going to look like, what our kids are going to look forward to when they're adults and our grandchildren, et cetera. Looking to what the classroom looks like is how has it evolved? How is it evolving now? And how should it evolve? Looking at how adults are now and looking at all the inclusive items and the ergonomics items and saying, okay, is there anything that can be translated from that back to the schools? Can we learn from the adults that helps the children to learn more effectively, more easily, so that kids aren't missed? How can we be more inclusive so that we can address different types of learning profiles without really having to reinvent everything? Are little things here and there that can be implemented in every school. Can public schools implement great lessons from what we see in workplaces, adult workplaces, or excellent offices that really focus on inclusion and optimal work environments for their people? I'm hoping to tie that all back as we look at different corporations and companies who are trying to do interesting things with their workplaces, and then look at education and see what's interesting there, and can one help the other, and vice versa.